Welcome back to the weekend with Anthony Opperman. 419 here in Richmond, as we are right in the middle of a big day in Richmond, Virginia, the 28th edition of the Dominion Christmas Parade. And, you know, it was appropriate because we had somebody on during the middle of the McDonald's half marathon. So we decided why not go to somebody in the middle of the Richmond Christmas Parade. So with further ado, we're going to do as best we can. Parades are loud, so we're going to try and catch up with the Grand Marshal, the 28th Grand Marshal of this year's Christmas Parade, the one and only the Parney, Todd Parney Parnell. Parney, can you hear me, buddy? How's the parade going? Well, you're getting the sounds of the parade. Parney, can you hear me? Yeah, that's life on the float right there. They had an orchestra, like a jazz band, on the float with them. I forget the name of the big band that they had.
They're on the float with him the whole time.
Yeah,
should work well.
Hey, Parney? Well, I mean, at least we're getting the live sounds of the Richmond Parade. I mean, if you can't be there, this is almost like being there.
This is as close as we're going to get right now.
Just close your eyes and imagine. I can see Santa Claus leading the thing. I'm sure the streets are just lined with people right now. I'm on radio. I don't know why I'm actually closing my eyes while doing this. You know, some things you try and you hope that they work.
Live radio, this is the magic of live radio. We are on a tightrope with no net right now.
In theory, it seemed like it was going to be a good idea. You know, talk with somebody right in the middle of the Christmas parade. Actually, though, when I initially put this in, and this is certainly not Parney's fault by any means, when I threw this whole thing out there to him, I thought he was going to be like in a car, like actually riding in a car, like in front of everything. So normally, if you're in the car, in the backseat of the car, just waving, kind of like JFK.
Oh God.
Okay, maybe not the best reference in the world. Sorry, I did not mean that insensitively. It's the first thing that popped into my mind when I thought somebody riding in a parade.
Now I'm just worried for Parney's safety.
All right. But anyway, I typically thought when I first talked to Parney about doing this, I thought the Grand Marshal was in a car. That's the way they did it back home. At the Fayette County Fair Parade, the Grand Marshal was in a car that said, Grand Marshal, and they weren't actually on a float. And typically, said floats didn't have a 24-piece brass band on them either. Now, hey, this is part of it, though.
Did you ever watch parades? Thanksgiving, Christmas parade?
Yeah, I watched the Thanksgiving Day parade this year.
Did you?
Yeah, it was terrible. The Macy's Thanksgiving. Well, the problem with it was they kept bursting into song and Broadway musicals, and that's just not what I watch a parade for. They're singing along too, by the way. I didn't know that they had lyrics to this brass band song. Typically, they don't.
I mean, I'm impressed that they're, marching down the road, singing, playing the...
Oh, no, they're on the float.
Oh, they're on a float.
Yeah,
I take it back. I'm
not as impressive. Meanwhile, I was in the marching band, and we, did the tight corners and everything else. You and I can't relate to these brass bands. We were both alto saxophone guys, so...
That's right.
The whole brass thing, that's a different set. And then when you get the percussionists involved, then that's really...
These guys are wailing away.
Having a good time at the Dominion Christmas Parade. Again, we're trying to catch up with the Grand Marshal, the 28th Grand Marshal of the Dominion Christmas Parade, Todd Parney Parnell. And obviously, Parney answered. He did his part. The unfortunate thing is the positioning of the brass band to Parney's proximity on the float. And the way this float works is Parney, being the Grand Marshal, is right at the front of it. There's like a baseball. I got to see pictures. There's a baseball coming out of the float, and then a little stand that he gets to stand on, hold on to, and wave to people. So we've got this brass band. We've got Flying Squirrels staff members throwing out red, green, and silver beads to everybody at both sides. And then in the back of the float, there's a Flying Squirrels logo with Nutsy standing underneath that logo. So Nutsy Claus, I should say. Nutsy Claus decked out in his white beard, a la Santa Claus.
It sounds like New Orleans Christmas.
It kind of does.
Like
I guess the beads were appropriate there.
Like the LSU Tigers might be marching.
Ooh, down the streets of Baton Rouge.
Learning.
And we're trying to catch up with Todd Parnell, the Grand Marshal of the Dominion Christmas Parade. Unfortunately, Parney again positioned right next to the brass band. That, you know what? I'm going to take the blame for this one.
Do you do a Parney impression?
Not a very good one.
All right, well, cross that off the list.
You know, it's a shame, too, because I was really excited. And I think this has given us the impression like we're there. I mean, I do feel like I'm a part of the parade right now.
If I was just going to imagine it in my head, I would not have heard the brass band. I would have imagined Christmas music.
Right. I mean, it sounds like it's a lot of fun. It sounds like there are a lot of people out there. It's a shame because I wanted to talk to him about, what was the bigger deal, being named the minor league executive of the year or being the Christmas parade Grand Marshal. Because, he's from Locust, North Carolina. And parades are a big deal down in Locust. So,
do they have a football team in Locust?
They're in North Carolina, boy. You better believe it. Do they have a football team in Locust, North Carolina? Yeah. You know their mascot?
I got one guess.
But yeah, I wanted to know, what was the bigger honor, to be the minor league executive of the year, as named by Baseball America, or the Grand Marshal of the Dominion Christmas Parade?
Maybe just tweet it at him.
Yeah, at Tweet Parney. I could do that. Or I could also just go down to his office there at the Diamond. And he, his impression was he came in and he was really excited at some of the other guys that have been the Grand Marshal of this parade. Like Kenny Rogers, the gambler.
What?
Yeah. Like the country music singer.
I know the gambler.
Okay. Not the pitcher Kenny Rogers.
Never heard of him.
Of course not. Shame on him. Yeah, the Kenny Rogers, the gambler, was one of the Grand Marshals of the Dominion Christmas Parade before.
That's impressive.
To be in that company, yeah. I would have loved to have got his thoughts on that. Uh-oh, they've kicked back up the band. I'm beginning to lose hope that we'll be able to have this conversation with Parney. That band is going. I don't know how much the Squirrels are paying that band to be on that float, but they are getting their money's worth this morning. Again, we were hoping to have a conversation with the Grand Marshal of the Dominion Christmas Parade, Todd Parnell, better known to everybody in Richmond as Parney or the Parney.
We have coined that phrase.
But unfortunately, he is positioned right next to a brass band, and it's a little difficult to have a conversation on a cell phone when you're right in the bell of a trombone. So we figured, you know what, we'll keep Parney on the line. At least it'll give us the feel as if we're at the Dominion Christmas Parade. He also has a special outfit for this parade today. And I wanted to talk to him. I don't know. I just heard that he had this long faux fur coat. Not real fur, because he certainly is an environmentalist. Hello? And he cares about animals, but...
Hello?
Parney, is that you?
This is Parney.
Hey, buddy. Jay Moore and I have just been passing the time, listening and enjoying the music. Yeah, I completely said this was my fault. I was assuming that you would be in a car as opposed to right in front of a 24-piece brass band. And as soon as as soon as we try and do this again, of course the brass band has to kick up. We did have a snippet of Parney. Hey, Parn.
Hi, buddy. How you doing? This thing is awesome. But
It sounds...
It's so loud here, I can't really hear anything. So, I don't know, what you want me to say other than it's an awesome parade. We're having a great time. And, there must be the streets are lined like 10, 15 deep. And, the weather's great. It's amazing to think that 3 years ago we didn't even exist. And now we're the cat's meow on the parade. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. There's just one thing I want you to tell me, Parn. Are we still on for Reckless Kelly next Friday at Billy Bob's?
I'm sorry, Ops. I got the no BS brass band in my ear, so I'm sorry. Maybe when we get to the end of the parade, we can talk and do a little recap. But it's really great here. Great people did a good job, and we're really having a good time. So everything's awesome.
All right,
buddy.
Thanks, Parney. Thanks, Parney. That's the 28th Grand Marshal of the Dominion Christmas Parade. Todd Parnell of the Richmond Flying Squirrels. You know what, though, Jay Moore? That was my whole goal with that was to give people the feel of what the parade was like. If you weren't there, if you were listening, that's what a parade should be like. It should be deafening to where you can't hear each other talk. You certainly can't talk on a cell phone during the parade. So I think we accomplished that goal at least.
We learned that the name of that brass band is the No BS Brass Band.
Yep.
So I know where I'm going next time I need a brass band. I got a great sampling of what they do.
Hey, you got the feel of certainly got the feel for the Christmas parade this morning. I knew it coming in. There are things that we were going to try on the show. Some things were going to work. Some things maybe not working quite so much. So I know better now. Don't interview somebody on a float when they've got the No BS Brass Band literally right behind them. Live and learn in this industry. Got a great feel for the Dominion Christmas Parade. Sounds like they're having a great time downtown on Broad Street. And a guy who always gives us a great feel for fishing, Chris Donovan, coming up, our weekly wildlife conversation. Chris went fishing over Thanksgiving. We'll get his recap of those fishing expeditions as well as talking hair jigs. That's coming up here on The Weekend with Anthony Opperman.
The Weekend with Anthony Opperman continues next on Sports Radio 910.